Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing, man? Antonelli here. Hey, what's going on, guys? How we doing? Man, Antonelli here. So Fox Sports put out a tweet recently. It says for the 2020 schedule, teams will play 40 games against their division opponents and 20 games against teams from the same region in the opposite league. And so what I want to do is I want to look at these regions and let's talk about who has the toughest region, who has the weakest region. We're going to break it down by team. And then in the comment section below, let me know what you guys think as well. And so we're going to start in the East. I personally think that the East is going to be the toughest region by a good amount. We'll start with the American League and then we'll go to the National League. We're going to look at the standings from last season. Let's start off with the Yankees, 103 and 59. Obviously a juggernaut. They go and add Garrett Cole, who's going to be a horse at the top of the rotation. The Yankees are going to be a tough, tough team to mess with. I think they will be in the World Series. They have so much talent. They've gotten some time now to get healthy. Their big question has always been health. Last year they weren't very healthy. This year they start off not healthy, but obviously the few months off has helped some of their guys regain some of that health. And so we'll see if they can stay healthy. But they are going to be a lot to deal with this season. You've got the Rays, 96 and 66 last year. The Rays always find a way to win, right? They're always kind of underrated, although at this point I think teams, or people at least, fans, are finally giving them the credit that they deserve. They've got great pitching, starting pitching. They've got a great bullpen. They always find a way to add bullpen pieces, to get guys that are maybe cast-offs in other places that end up coming over and pitching really well for them. So they're going to be a very good team. You've got the Red Sox, 84 and 78. They lose Mookie Betts, obviously really hurts. Chris Sale going down with an arm injury. But I do think that they are still talented, but it will hurt losing those two guys for this season. The Blue Jays, a young and upcoming team. I think they continue to get better. 67 and 95 last year, but I think they're better than that this year. I think they're still a few years away, but they should be better. You've got the Orioles, who are not going to be very good again this year. Okay, so that's one team that a lot of these teams will beat up on a little bit. Now let's go to the National League. You've got the Braves, 97 and 65, a very solid team. They've got some young superstars on the team. They should be very good again. You've got the Nationals, 93 and 69, defending World Series champs. They've got, they've lost Rendon, but they bring back their stable of pitchers, and they should be very solid again. You've got the Mets, who I think are improved as well. They should be very solid. We'll see what their bullpen does. They struggled last year, but they do have talent. Phillies, I think, will be improved. I think they underperformed last year based on the talent that they have. They've added more talent. I think they should be even better this year. Then you have the Marlins, who are in kind of a rebuild. And so you've got the Marlins and the Orioles as two teams that people are going to beat up on. Although the Marlins have made some improvements, they should be better than last year's record. But those are a lot of solid teams in the East. So that will be a very tough region. Okay, now you have the Central region. Let's start with the AL Central. You've got the Twins, 101 and 61, great year last year. Tons of power in their lineup. They add Josh Donaldson to add more power. They get better defensively. They add some more pitching. I think they're going to be very good again. You've got the Indians, 93 and 69. Very solid year for them last year. I think they'll be good this year. I don't know if they'll be as good as that record from last year, but they should be solid. You've got the White Sox, 72 and 89. They've gone out and made a bunch of acquisitions this year. They should be much better. That's three solid teams in the AL Central. You've got the Royals, 59 and 103. Probably won't be great this year either, and same with the Tigers. So you kind of have two weaker teams there at the bottom. Now let's go over to the NL Central. You have the Cardinals, 91 and 71. Always a solid team, great organization. They should be solid again. You've got the Brewers, 89 and 73. Same thing. They lost a lot of guys, but they always find a way to bring in guys that end up playing better once they get to them. They find undervalued guys. They're just very good at it. They remind me in some ways of the Rays, who always just seem to make solid trades, solid acquisitions, and so they should be good. You've got the Cubs, 84 and 78. They've got talent. I think that they will be good. You've got the Reds, 75 and 87 last year. They will be better. They've made a lot of acquisitions. They've gone out and signed a bunch of guys, and so they should be better. Then you have the Pirates, who I don't think will be great this year. But again, you have the Central is solid. I don't think it's as good as the East, but there are a lot of good teams there. I think it should be really competitive this year. Okay, now let's go over to the West region. We'll start in the AL. You have the Astros, 107 and 55. They will not be as good this year. They lose Garrett Cole. We'll see what happens with the whole trash can banging thing, and how they respond to that. I do think not having fans in the stands will help them. If there were fans in the stands, if it was a full season, my thought was going to be that that's a lot to deal with for an entire season. That is a large distraction. I do think the short season and no fans helps them, but I still don't think they go 107 and 55. I think they regress from last year. You've got the A's, 97 and 65. Typically slow starters. Well, how will they do in a shorter season? We will see, but they are very talented. They don't get maybe as much respect from some people as they probably deserve, but they have a lot of talent on their team. The Rangers, 78 and 84. I think they'll be a little bit better this year. They've made some solid pickups as well. We'll see how Corey Kluber does, being a Ranger now. But they're a solid team. You've got the Angels, 72 and 90. They've gone out and spent some money. They've made some acquisitions. I think that they'll be better. So you've got some solid teams over here. I think the AL West looks pretty good. You've got the Mariners, who are kind of in a rebuild. I don't think they'll be great this year, but I think the top 4 teams in that division should all have pretty solid years. Now going to the NL, you've got the Dodgers, who are loaded, unbelievably loaded. You pick up Mookie Betts, one of the best players in the game. You get David Price just kind of thrown into the deal. I think he's going to be better going over and pitching in nice, warm, sunny Los Angeles. A little bit of something to prove. They're so deep. They're going to be able to really mix and match when it comes to the DH. They just have so much depth that injuries can't really hurt them. COVID will be interesting this year because depending on a team could that could spread throughout a team and really take somebody down, or at least if it gets 1 or 2 guys. I mean, this is going to be obviously much different from other years, but the Dodgers have such depth that if something did possibly happen to their team, they've got more depth than anyone really to be able to handle anything that comes their way. Diamondbacks, 85 and 77 last year. I like the Diamondbacks. They've made some good acquisitions as well. I think that they'll be solid again. Then you have the Giants, 77 and 85. You get the Rockies, 71 and 91. I think they're both, probably middle of the pack again. I don't see either one of those teams at the top of the division. And then you've got the Padres, 70 and 92. Padres, young team. Tommy Pham coming over. You've got Fernando Tatis Jr. that I think is going to continue to get better and continue to make a jump. I think they're better than their record last year. I still think that they're probably a little ways away, but I think they'll be solid. So there you go. I think the East region, like I said, I think that is by far the toughest. When it comes to the West and the Central, I don't know. I'm not sure if there's one that is clearly worse than the other. I think right now I'll probably go, I think I'm going to go Central as the second region, and then I'll go West as the third and bottom region, although again you've got the Dodgers in there. But I think with maybe the Astros taking a step back, you've got the Mariners that aren't great. You've got the Rockies and Giants that are both just so-so. You've got the Padres that are still probably a little ways away, and so I'll go with the Central 2, and then the East, number 1. So that's what I have. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, share with all your friends, all that good stuff. Thank you to our patrons on Patreon for supporting the channel, and we'll talk to you later.